already moved into establishing a very successful organization, institution like Abu Dhabi Stem Cell.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome. Thank you for joining us, Muhammad. We have an interesting topic at hand, which is the innovations in drug discovery. So first off, can you give us a sort of, how has the landscape of drug development evolved over the years?
Thank you so much for the invitation. I mean, it's really great to be in such an event. We've seen that growing year over year. So congratulations for this, Forbes team. It's really good as well coming after some meditation and exercise. It feels fresh. So talk about drug development. It's a response to the public needs. So our ultimate objective is to provide patients access to treatment. And when it goes to research in particular, I mean, we give them a hope for access for new treatment. It's not like a guaranteed, but it's just a hope. And when you see that drug evolution over years have been moved from, in the product life cycle, from small molecules, very small pills and capsules, to very innovative, kind of products like we're talking about cell and gene therapy, stem cell in the morning. These becomes to answer a very important question. We need an effective, safe, and quality of life. And to answer those, questions, it went through different processes of development. So it goes from the product itself, it goes to the processes of approving such, drugs and treatments, and the regulatory plays a big role in this because it has been moved from experimental discovery in the 70s, as highlighted earlier, into more of a structured approach after the ICH harmonization in the 90s, and now it's keep on amending the regulatory framework. Also, the investment part, who's developing those kind of molecules, has been evolved significantly over the years. So it used to be like large pharmaceutical companies, now biotechs, and investment capital, venture capitals, research institutes. So everyone has been shifted a bit to answer the need for the patients. And that is the core of what we have today. Just to understand this market in nutshell in numbers, when we talk about the drug development as we speak, we're talking about investment of $300 billion a year. So that's what evolves over the years, from experimental to a very huge market. And that's maybe is why we are all in terms of finding a better, safe, effective, quality of life medications to the patients.
And correct me if I'm wrong, with COVID, I think it's a great example because the industry was heavily engaged with all the vaccine clinical developments. So I'd like to touch on AI. AI is a huge topic at the moment. Our experts delved into it earlier today. And healthcare presents an important challenge because there's little room for inaccurate results or answers. So could you elaborate more on AI's role in modern drug development?
AI is a very nice tool. Let's put it like a tool while we're discussing the options, and has many implications. So it goes from diagnosis, and it helps a lot in the diagnostic field in how to diagnose patients, how to diagnose certain disease, how to get an efficiency in the diagnosis part. And it goes as well to manufacturing techniques. But I will just highlight and take the shadow on how it's impacting research. We have many sources in the research, like electronic medical records. We have wearables. We have been seeing today a very nice tool like Pure, for example. It's like gathering so much data in. How that is going to impact us is going to impact feasibility of the patients. We need to find the right patient. And with such AI tools, we are able to get into a feasibility process of finding the right patient, because this is a challenge, I would say, processes in the clinical research. Finding the right patients will help us in order to design the protocols and the clinical trials in the best way. We will have now, when you just open a new clinical trial protocol, you find like maybe 2-3 pages of eligibility criteria, inclusion and exclusion. And with such tool, you will be able to identify and design your protocol in a way that I'm targeting the right population. In addition to the processes itself of the conduction, I mean, we've moved ahead from typical conventional clinical trial to risk-based monitoring to more of real-world evidence data generation, and rely on those for health technology assessment on how to address the needs for the patients. So it has many implications, but for the research, it has been significant because it's all touched the patients and how we develop those kind of clinical trials and protocols.
So what sort of regulatory challenges and considerations does the pharmaceutical industry face when introducing new drugs? I know we briefly spoke about how diseases like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and cancers, there are treatments but no cures. Is it a research issue or a regulatory issue? So can you please delve more into that?
I mean, the challenges basically always comes with the drug development is the timelines. I mean, the whole objective is to reach fast to the patients. And just to have one molecule to reach the patient, it's a process of preclinical to clinical field till you grant a regulatory approval. It takes between 10 to 16 years. And that is the main challenge. The main challenge goes to how we can move ahead the process fast. And there are lots of bureaucracy in between. Maybe Dr. Fatma in the morning has spoke about it, on how we expedite the regulatory processes. Challenges goes to understanding the market. I mean, we're talking about cell and gene therapy and some disease that does not have cure, as you highlighted. And the regulations always comes next. Like for those kind of advanced medicinal therapy products, we used to call them gene-modified organs in earlier ages. The whole regulatory framework is not yet designed to, answer those kind of protocols and challenges associated with. In COVID, it was a nice experience. Everyone has moved very fast towards achieving this kind of mission in providing hope for the patients, getting vaccinated or getting treated. They established processes of review that it's quite expedited. However, we need to have it like written in stone. We have to regulate it in a way that, we are able to develop and have a streamlined process for such, medications and such treatment.
What about the media? How can media be leveraged to educate the public about the innovations, the benefits, and potential risks?
That's a very important question, I would say. Still, this is the main challenge that we have, and maybe I will take that to the audience and ask them very honest question. Are you willing to participate in a clinical trial? Please raise your hand if you are willing to. See, 5 people.
That's good to know.
See, that's, you've touched base on one of the most important, topic. When we, reach the patients right now, they are not willing to participate in clinical trial. Take it to another level, even physicians are not willing to participate in clinical trials. And so when we do lots of feasibility, they don't yet understand what is in it for them. Why I would be part of a research from academic point of view, from career, development. And when you go to institution as well, they don't still have the right mechanism of understanding why clinical research is important. We're still in a very reactive mode, and this has to change. Take into consideration and take it to the regulators themselves. For sure, here I'm talking from regional point of view, not from UE point of view, because UE is very, encouraging clinical trials and encouraging the ecosystem for clinical trial. But we have regional countries still, when you talk about clinical trials, still it's a national security file. I mean, you're talking about something that we're not the guinea pigs. Such mentality is still there, and we are facing, I mean, challenges in there. Despite the advancement of drug development, we're moving to talking about stem cell, CAR-T, cell and gene therapy. The protocols for those kind of trials and the clinical trials is becoming very, very extensive and very difficult to find patients. So without any awareness, it becomes like mission impossible. So what I think we need to encourage here is to ask the regulators, decision makers, to make more public awareness to the people. What in it for them? Why do we have to run clinical trials? Why do we have to accelerate drug development? And that should go not only on patient level or people level, but it has to go to healthcare professionals and regulators as well, to understand what are the rules inside this kind of, I mean, scheme. And that's, I think, I mean, the go-to, I mean, heaven for us, for everyone working in the healthcare.
Okay, just to wrap up, my last question would be, in recent years, cell and gene therapies have gained prominence in the industry. What are the key advancements and challenges associated with these therapies?
I think the challenges is the opportunities for us. The challenges that you have moved on the whole industrial pharmaceutical manufacturing from big corporates, like we used to do more of products development, biologics, more into personalized medicine, where you need the patient in the manufacturing cycle. So the whole manufacturing cycle has been moved significantly towards the hospital. So they have to develop their own manufacturing capabilities, good manufacturing practice, and work with the patients for his personalized treatment. With that said, I mean, this is a big burden, I mean, in terms of cost and the infrastructure that you have to build in institutional level. But this is an advantage for a country like UAE, if we talk about it in per se. This is a very good, I mean, something that you have to take it as an opportunity, because you have a good infrastructure in place, and you can lead that market globally. I mean, in terms of new technology in cell and gene therapy. We're talking about a market from size, as we speak, it's up to the end of 2022, it's $4 billion. And the expectations to go from such therapies in 2030 between 20 to 30 billion US dollar, which is close to 10% of the cost of the clinical development overall. It is a huge opportunity for the country to lead that, I mean, vision, and I think we are in the right steps for the moment. I mean, we have already moved into establishing a very successful organization, institution, like Abu Dhabi Stem Cell Center and many others, and I think we're on the right track.
That's assuring to know. Thank you so much. That's all the time we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.